Thank you very much, Senator Manchin. Senator McCain.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, could I say, Secretary Fox, do you believe that the actions that were taken in context of a budget agreement was not the way the Pentagon would like to see this issue addressed? Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
And that the best way to do this is a overall addressing of the issue through the commission that this committee has had written into law and signed by the President?
That would be our preference.
And would you agree that one of the principles we should probably adhere to in addressing this issue, and it is an issue, would be to make sure that we do not act in a way that would affect existing service members and retirees? In other words, it would be prospective in nature, and we could address the issue effectively if we do it prospectively rather than creating the impression to the men and women who are serving and those who have already served that we are reneging on our promises to them.
Sir, that is exactly the Department's position and has been.
So it will be definitely, you believe, a recommendation from this commission that whatever changes need to be made will be prospective in nature rather than affect existing benefits and retirement and parameters.
Yes, Senator McCain, I believe that is even written in the establishment of the commission, that they be grandfathered.
And I know you respect the members of the Budget Committee as I do, but they're not renowned for their expertise on military personnel issues. Would you agree? You don't have to answer, Secretary Fox. You don't have to answer, Secretary Fox. I will say that. And I think you already answered this question, but again, for the benefit of the record again, the plan to reduce 1% of military retirees' cost of living was not conceived within the Department of Defense. Is that right?
That's correct, sir.
To your knowledge, were you ever consulted on this decision?
Not to my knowledge.
To your knowledge, that this decision was made by the Budget Committee without ever consulting the Department of Defense as to the impact of it on readiness, morale, keeping our promise, etc.?
To the best of my knowledge, sir, we were not consulted.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you especially for anticipating this issue, because it is an issue of rising personnel costs, and the fact that under your leadership we now have a commission established that I think can come up with a recommendation that would take into consideration the views of the military and civilian leadership in the Pentagon, and hopefully we can arrive at consensus. Our next panel of witnesses today will be very adamant, understandably so, about their concern about the effect of this action taken by the Budget Committee on the morale and readiness and the ability of us to keep our promise to the men and women who have served and are serving. So I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for actually anticipating the fact that this issue has to be addressed, and I hope we will be able to convince all of the American people of the need to base what we do based on the recommendations of the most highly qualified people we can find. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.